Oopsie Gamer 7, and welcome back to some more of the How Many Babies Challenge, but this is going to be an Oopsie episode. I've had one or two other videos recently prior to this one. I think it was only one, but then I have another one after this one, technically, but it was, Female Gaming Legacy. But I think this happened once to my Not-So-Berry as well. Technically, it has happened to one or two voiceovers, but obviously those ones aren't as big of a deal. I can just remake the voiceover, so it's whatever. But I officially now pretty sure that I have found the root cause problem of my mic issues to where my mic isn't being picked up. And it happened again with actually two episodes from the How Many Babies Challenge. But instead of doing two where I'm doing a voiceover and talking and not really obviously going with the flow of things and seeing me playing it at, like, seeing my, or hearing my voice as I'm playing it and having my reactions, instead of having two videos where I just have a voiceover for them, I put the two together and took bits and pieces out of both videos to make one video here for the next episode. So that's why this video is also short, because the fact that I am just having to sort of have a voiceover and sort of go over what happened while slightly showing you things that are going on here and there so that you at least sort of see some visual, see what's going on. If in the future you would rather me just to do like a little beginning bit in the next episode, so like this is going to be episode 15, so like if you would have preferred me just do like a voiceover, or not a voiceover, but like a little tidbit at the beginning of 16 where I real quickly, more quickly than what I would do in this, what I'm going to do in this video, go over what happened previously and just sort of freshen y'all up before doing that episode. I could do that going on there forward if this was to arise again, or if audio gets corrupted. Sometimes that does happen, that's a thing, but this one was like an issue with my recording software. For some reason, the default mic set on like two different things was not my actual microphone. I don't even know what it was trying to default to. So, because it wasn't my mic or my webcam, which my webcam actually also technically has a mic attached to it. So, if it would have at least defaulted to my webcam, there would have at least been some audio. It wouldn't have sounded, it would have sounded a little bit weird. The webcam audio isn't as good as this mic audio. Though I'm still having, like, this issue, even though I got a new mic with this setup, where every once in a while, some of the videos, you can hear it more in my voiceovers than in the videos where I'm actually playing the game, because the game has sounds also going, so half the time you just hear the game sounds in between my talking, but for some reason, there's a slight ticking that is happening in the background, and it's happened with two mics, so I want to say it's picking up something from one of my electronics that I can't hear until the mic gets to it, because there's no way that I have two mics doing the same thing that are from two different companies. But anyway, that's besides the point. Let's get on to the whole video thing here. So yeah, just let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do differently if I was to ever have any audio issues. I do have a Female Gaming Legacy that was also affected because it was from the same recording day. I thought I double checked the mic, but I also did restart my computer because I realized that I had left it overnight, and I decided to restart it before I booted Sims up and just have sort of a fresh start going on before I started recording. So I guess maybe it refreshed to the default after I restarted the computer, but the default has been set to microphone, and I've been double checking any recordings that I have had prior to it and after the recording. There was a few here and there that I paused it. I like stopped the recording in the middle and just double checked it to make sure it's working, and it hasn't set back to the weird mic or the mysterious mic. So I think we're good. I think I have got that fixed. That seems to be staying on the actual mic I want it to stay on. So that being said, I do apologize that I did not catch this or figure this out sooner, because I thought I had solved the issue prior to recording these episodes, so I thought I was all good, but I went even further, delving a little bit further into the program, and found where it had a default mic set somewhere else. Also, so yeah. Anyway, so in this one, in these two episodes, I got with, I think her name was Sora, and Henrietta, I think, was another one. Henrietta was someone that we had talked to previously. So, technically, Sora and Henrietta. Sora's someone, I think she's a neighbor of ours, technically, so we keep running into her, but we never got any romance started with her. And then Henrietta was someone that we ran into not that many episodes ago. Did some romance with her, but then found out that she was in the early stages of pregnancy. Therefore, for the goal of the How Many Babies challenge, I couldn't do anything with her at that time. So I was like, okay, we'll let some time pass. Then we'll invite her back over. I still felt sort of bad because it was like, man, she just had a baby not that long ago. And here I am trying to basically have her in a situation where she's going to have another child. So I felt sort of bad, but at the same time, can't have a conscience during this series. I have been with many. I've had my sim be with many women that are in relationships, have kids with other people. Doesn't matter. So yeah, but I was with them primarily, and I was still struggling at the very beginning of the episode when I was fishing. He actually ran into someone. Someone came over there to talk to him fishing. Wasn't working out whatsoever. Tried to talk to her to add her to the list of people we might could eventually invite over. Wasn't working. Also eventually invite Aurelia over. Tried to see if I can push that any further again. No go. Something about Azeil is just like, no one, like, there's like an unattraction to him for some reason. I've apparently made a quite unattractive sim when it came to him. I don't understand why, but even in other saves that I have where I've reused the sim just to try to add a background sim, a possibility of a potential relationship, because like in my female gaming legacy and like my not so berry, you know, every once in a while I add new sims in there to refresh it and also make sure that, you know, some of the family trees aren't getting too mixed. So, just add a little refresh over there and also make sure that there is enough options for the teens and young adults to potentially have some relationships with. And I added him, I think it was Female Gaming Legacy. I think I end up mentioning this again later, but it baffled me so much that even in another save, my sim, who I was playing as, Zelda, found him unattractive. So yet again, there's another sim in a totally different save that found him unattractive. And I was like, what did I do when I made this sim? Apparently I did something horribly wrong. But yeah, I definitely tried with Aurelia, but it wasn't going anywhere. No matter what I did, no matter what I tried, she kept denying us. She'd take a few flirty things here and there, but then if we tried to push it too far, it was just like, no. So there was never a point where I was going to get her to the point where we can try to have a baby with her. It just was not going to happen. So, you know, also, another thing that I actually almost forgot to mention at the very beginning of the episode, I originally was telling, of course, obviously the mic didn't pick it up, but he had went to work, at the ending of the episode prior, and I was gonna let it play a little bit, get him back home, and depending on if he needed to go straight to bed or not, then I was gonna let him go to bed, so that by the time I came back to record the next episode, he would be off from work and well rested, and we could just start jumping into things immediately. A lot of times, if I can, with these sims where you're focusing on only one or two sims, I do try to get it to where the next time I'm going to record, it's ready to just go straight out recording, and I don't have to let them sleep or wait to start the recording. But I was doing that, and the repo person came and took the bed, took the hot tub, took both of the computers, took the upstairs shower, took the oven, took the little two dining things that are in the dining rooms. I forget what they're called, but right now, but you could put dishes and stuff in them. Usually dishes and other things like that are on display in them. Took those. I can't remember what else they took. But they took a few other things, I believe. So, Yeah, and they kept taking, and even as they kept taking, I still owed bills. I paid those bills because I was very close to having enough to actually pay off the bills before the repo person, whatever. Um, I was very close to being able to pay it off, but obviously I didn't get close enough, fast enough, and she came and took so many things. So I paid the bills, the remaining of the bills back, and bought back most of the stuff, or at least the stuff I needed for the purpose of him surviving and living, and then also the challenge. So, like, his bed, the oven, I got the hot tub back. I didn't get any of the computers back or anything. But I also started selling a few other things here and there around the house just because I needed to. Because another round of bills was coming through and I was panicking that, I was like, oh gosh, oh no. But also, at this point, you probably should be seeing it. I am trying to get some aspiration points so I can get that unique appearance, because so many Sims were finding him unattractive, and it was making things very difficult for me. I was like, this is irritating. So, I've been having him throw parties because the next aspiration I chose was like the party animal one. So, I also used this opportunity to have like a pretty big party and try to get to know some people, and I was in the hopes of finding someone to maybe be a roommate with us. And originally I was trying to go for single men, just because, a lot of times guys tend to roommate with each other and women tend to roommate with each other. Does that always happen? No. There are those exceptions, depending also just, depending on like your setup. Sometimes if you've been friends with them for so long, you don't really care, or whatever it may be. There's different things. But I also figured if it was a guy who was in there, less likely to be like some awkwardness when, I'm flirting with other just having all these random women over. So that was my original goal, but literally like in this party, let me say this first. I treated it like it was one of those parties that was like, I'm going to invite my friends, but then I'm going to tell my friends that they can invite their friends, and those friends can invite a few of their friends. Trickle down the hill, whatever you want to call it. So it was like multiple people came, and there was a lot of them that we didn't know. Obviously me, because I have a mod, I was able to pick all these people, so I was trying to pick people that I had a pretty good idea of. They were around his age. So, like, young adults and adults. No elders, no teens. Because of some of my custom content. I mean, the teenagers sometimes are really hard to tell anyway, especially in just the picture view. When you see them in person, it's a little bit easier. But just seeing that picture of, like, just their profile picture, it's, like, not that easy to tell whether they're a teen or a young adult. But, so yeah, to best of my knowledge, I tried to keep people within the young adulthood, the ones that I sort of knew were young adults, or hoped they were young adults, and invited them over, but obviously, for story-wise, he just invited his friends, and it trickled from there. But every guy that I got him to introduce himself to, or the ones that he already knew and were friends with, were all already in committed relationships and married, therefore, they're not going to leave their significant others to be my roommates. So, ultimately, I do decide that it's probably going to be a female who is my roommate, and I hope she can just tolerate my behavior. But, at least with this party that I threw, it gave me a chance to know a lot of other people and get some friends, and also, some potential romances down the line. And all that lovely good stuff. So it was definitely a lot of people, and getting to know a lot of them was definitely interesting. But so he knows a lot of people from this party. So the episodes going forward, is like I have a few options to choose from, and hopefully when I get this attractive trait, which I do earn enough aspiration points from this party to be able to get that trait. I think I bought it at the end of this episode, or I've already recorded a few episodes, but I can't remember. Because I realize I have pre-recorded a lot, and I'm not getting them out as fast as I was pre-recording them, so I've taken a little break from recording for a bit. So it's been a bit, but I can't. I bought it. I think I bought it at the end of this. What was supposed to be the original episode 16, but because of mic issues, it is crumbled together into episode 15. But yeah, so I buy that trait with that. So I'm able to now have that unique appearance, which most Sims should find him attractive now, which is great. So yeah. But he knows quite a decent amount of people. I can start building up those friendships, get those things going. I did start using the Social Bunny app a little bit more, especially since I don't have a computer, because I haven't been able to get him a computer back. We're able to use that Social Bunny to at least sort of get some friendships up. But I also had him go to a, hot spring with some friends. Some of them were some work friends to make it seem like, it wasn't too weird. We just wasn't inviting random women over. We're trying to... And at least one of the ladies that I was trying to romance, and then one of the ladies that I particularly was thinking we might end up doing a roommate situation with, which is Becca. So, yeah. So there was all that going, but obviously not much in the romance department happened with the party and stuff, but I do get some romance with Mackenzie, which is a werewolf. I do get some romance with her at the end of, this whole hot spring adventure. So, we didn't have 0 romance interactions, but we had less. And honestly, at this point in the series, I was hoping we would be having a lot more romantic interactions so that that number of babies would start climbing up pretty quickly. But it's not happening. It is proving a struggle more so, but I feel like I partially have made this more of a struggle for myself because of my mods. The mod that brings in the attractive feature has seemed to be hindering us a lot as far as having to super focus on money every once in a while instead of focusing on social interactions. That has made it a little bit harder because I do have child support on through MCC, and therefore it is affecting my bills greatly. It is quite bad, and I am struggling. But I wanted it to sort of be, I didn't want it to just be woo! And see, not have a care in the world to see how many kids. I wanted there to be a little bit of challenge. But at the same time, I'm partially thinking about retrying this a little bit later on down the road, but purposely giving my sim, quite a bit of money, and, immediately maybe trying to give them the unique appearance and see what the difference is going from a sim who I'm focusing on the aspiration, I'm focusing on their job and their career, I'm trying to make sure to keep all that stuff going, I'm struggling with bills and all social stuff like that, versus a sim who has more going for them than what Azeil had, and see what the difference is in the number. I'm almost curious to do that as a little experiment. This was my challenge run of it to make it challenging, and the next one is maybe just going to be experimenting. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. Let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see that, because I might try that. But yeah, sorry for the mic inconveniences, though. I wish I could have caught it sooner, so it wasn't 2 episodes affected by it. But sadly, I did not. But I hope you still at least somewhat enjoyed this episode. If so, please hit that lovely like button, subscribe. You know that lovely YouTube goodiness. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. But, until then, bye-bye!